Shemai GTA fans, happy weekend! Yes, we are going to be reviewing the Podium Car for this week. You know when you try and fail hard the first time, that feels terrible, doesn't it? But then you get lucky with the second go. Well, that's how I won the Podium Car this week. Thank you very much. But let's first put the optimal upgrades and customizations on the XF, and then we are going to take it around the track to compare it to its sister car, the XXR, and the Fister 811. And then it's just a bit of general kind of handling play we'll have a go at. And then we'll come to our final conclusions, shall we? How's about that? Now, what's our Russian chum think about it? He's going to help us out with the upgrades right now. You want to level up the armor to the maximum, and then these custom kind of side vents, they don't add much to the look of the car. You can hardly see them, and perhaps because of the dark color, and they provide an obstruction to the intake, so that's weird. The front splitter takes away the bumper's clean edge. Oh, the rear diffuser is interesting because it makes it look a little bit like the XXR, but if you want the XXR, just buy it. You can use the double or the triple exhaust, they're quite cheap, but I like mine chubby, so I'm going to go with the stock. Lights, I'm not going to upgrade them on this one, but I will change the registration to the Fun Time trademark registration plate in black. Nice. Colours, that's the choice, isn't it? And this is the main feature for this car, looks-wise. I think there's so many better colours than the actual podium vehicle colour, but I always keep them stock really with what I get because I want everyone to know that I've been tight-fisted and not bought this car, but when it's on the podium. There's so many good options. I like the blues, they're nice. They're nice, aren't they? I did like that lime green as well previously. Brown, now there's a bold colour. Shafter purple or bright purple, I think that's what I'd go for. Why not? And that would go nicely with some white rims, but I'm not going to change the rims either. That's the other significant one. Crew emblem, we can add that. Yeah. I think we've missed a few things here. Carbon skirts, yeah, go on, why not? It adds to the low, kind of close to the ground look. The carbon wing is quite ugly. I'm not going to add it. It looks ugly. But you do lose some performance there. It loses a bit of traction, which we will see later in the track. Competition suspension, naturally. Drop it to the ground. All the transmission, tuning, turbo, and engine upgrades have been done to the max. Bulletproof tyres, that's the essential part. After all, it doesn't matter what your wheels look like if they are shot out. But having said that, I would probably go for a white rim, a yellow rim perhaps, a lime green or a purple. So that's a customization. Let's take it to the streets. You've got to ask yourself, what makes a great car? Is it style or is it substance? While we're thinking about that, maybe you should like or subscribe and add a comment. Tell us what you think makes a great car. I'm driving in the wrong direction thinking about that thought there. And where I'm heading is to LSIA Airport, and we are going to take you on the circular track and pit it up against a little bit of competition. First thoughts though are that handling's pretty good, and the sound is similar to its sister car, the XXR, so it's not great. It's a bit waspish. Looks beautiful, though, doesn't it? In the morning sun. This is the sun's just come up, so let's go for a drive. In the right-hand boxes, top, obviously we have the sister car, the XXR, and bottom right we have the Fister 811, which is on discount this week for 680,000. Nice, but all of these are nice cars, to be quite honest, except for the sound of the Overflods. The first corner, no surprises. We have the 811's in the lead, followed very closely by the XXR, but the XF is lagging a bit. So looking at the stats, the performance of the XF should be the lowest of all these cars. And we're coming up to the final turn here, and the XXR and the 811 are pretty neck and neck, but the 811 took a bit of a, a cheat route there, took a shorter circuit, but the XF is behind. So I think the final analysis of that, very basic track, and bear in mind my driving and cornering skills, the XXR and the 811 are on a par, pretty much, but the XF is lagging behind those two. But taking it on a drive around the city and that, I think performance-wise, what the XF offers is still a very kind of accurate, very honed kind of driving experience. It really is glued to the road for a great part. It's a bit more, it does have a bit more slip than the XXR, but it's certainly still a kind of accurate drive, just like its sister car. And in comparison to the 811, which tends to drift a lot more, but also has a really growly sounding engine, and I think it has got more on the acceleration and top end performance, the 811 compared to the XF. So yeah, it's a good experience. I have enjoyed driving it around the city. I like this. It's it's almost, dare I say, becoming one of my short-term favourites, because I like the look of it. Compared to its sister car, I think it looks better because it doesn't have the spoiler on, which takes away some of the elegance, some of the really niceness to this car. But look at this, it corners great. You into the tighter corners, you do need to put a bit of handbrake on, but it's quite capable. I think I do prefer it overall on the wide, expansive roads, the highways, where you can really let rip with the speed and get to the top end, and start enjoying yourself into the turns rather than the corners. I'm going to put it in my office garage number 3, and guess who is also in the office garage? That's right. I'm going to compare the XXR with the XF. I like the front end of the XF more than the XXR, to be quite honest. The lights are just nicer in that flat kind of look, but I do like the bonnet vents on the XXR. So it's a tricky one, I think. There are bits that I like of each. At the rear end, I again prefer the XF. I think the lights are just more crisp and nicer, and I think without the spoiler, it really shows off those exhausts on the back. So great looking cars, both of them though. I think there's a lot of it is in personal preference, but performance-wise, I think the XXR is the one. So if I had a choice between the two, I would choose the XXR. But then I would miss out on the look of the XF. So having both cars is best for me. But if you didn't win the XXR on the podium last week, then do spin for the XF this week, because you've got to win it. It's despite the waspish noise of both engines, I think they are both great cars. The other thing is, if you want to win it guaranteed, then do look at my video on that, to make sure that you get this car. If you don't have a supercar, you've got to win this week. It's no question. And if you have the cash to flash, then consider the Fister 811. It could be a fine stablemate to these cars. It offers something very different performance-wise because it's got more drift. The engine's also more growly and more mature sounding. So check out my review on the Fister 811 next to be sure you make the right purchase this week. And if you've found that useful, then do like and subscribe and drop a comment to tell me your thoughts. Thank you very much for watching.